Well, it's winter time. And that's a whole new life for me. Different chores, different things that I have to do. And one of them is lighting my oil lamps. I use my oil lamps. I use them in the morning and I use them at evening. There's two reasons. One is it helps reduce my electricity, and two is it helps heat my home. Now, as you've seen in many of my videos, I have Clean Heat. It's K-L-E-A-N, heat. And this is a fuel that you can use in your oil lamps. It will also help heat your house, and there's no kerosene smell. Another thing I just learned is you can put essential oils in your oil lamps, and it is amazing. It has an amazing scent to it. So that is something else I do. In the morning, I light my oil lamps, and I will keep them lit for about maybe 2 hours or 3 hours until the sun is up and I'm able to see. And then in the evening, once again, around 5 o'clock, I will light my oil lamps. And then we start with what I do 365 days of the year. Come along with me and I'll show you. Walk outside my door and I have to go to the chicken house. And I have to let my beloved chickens out because they've been cooped up in their house for about 12 hours. I put them to bed really early every evening when it turns dark, and so the nights are much longer. And so they're in their house and they are ready to get out as soon as the crack of dawn. It's really, really cold. It's about maybe 32 degrees. As you see, I don't wear coats. I'm very bad at wearing coats. Even when it's snowing. Just how I am. I know, eventually I'll get to the point where I'm gonna have to dress warmer. I really have a hard time with accepting winter time because I love being outside, and it's really hard to be outside when it is so cold. Alright, so let's get the chickens out. Just like you and I, when we wake up, we are hungry. Hey, what are they looking for? Oh no, their food bowl is empty. We have to make sure we take care of that. I keep their food bowl empty during the night so I don't have any problems with wild animals coming in here to try to get at their food. On really cold mornings, I will make them some hot oatmeal, and they love that. All right, the chickens are fed. Now, on to more chores. That chore is done for another day. It seems like every single day, I do the exact same things over and over and over again. But you know what? That gives a purpose in life, and it helps establish your routine. They say people work best if they have a routine. Most of us do have a routine. Most of us get up every morning, brush our teeth, and get started on the day. And this is my routine. So this is what I would call a vlog, or in my words, a vlog. And I haven't had one of these in a long time. Following in somebody's footsteps, it's really interesting because you get to see how they live their life. unedited, and just get to see what it's like to live in their shoes, so to speak. Now we go back into the house, and it's dark. So I'm just going to share with you, how do I go about my day? Now, it's not as dark in here as what it would appear to be. It just is because of the camera. And also, I went from a really cold outside to really warm inside, and so my camera is probably going to be just a little bit fuzzy. The next thing I do is, before I eat breakfast, which is always a bagel with cream cheese. I don't eat a big breakfast, but that's what I eat every single day. But what I do is, I get all of my water ready and I start heating it up so I can wash my dishes. Now, Mom told me every night, have your dishes washed. That didn't happen last night. So that means I woke up this morning with a whole bunch of dishes to wash. So I will heat my water on the stove because I have so many to do. Then I need to get started with my laundry. And how am I doing my laundry, you ask? Well, I brought my portable laundry machine inside because it is winter time. And that means that I have to wash indoors. And so this is how I wash my clothing and how I wash my dishes. And then we're going to have leftovers for lunch today because I have a lot of leftovers from the last couple days. And so let's get started on the rest of the chores. What makes a huge difference is, just 1 second, I'll quick put it up, is an LED light. Alright, I don't want to hurt anybody's eyes, but this LED light is amazing. And so, this is what I do. A lot of people who are new to my channel don't understand my setup. So I'm going to explain this to you as simple as I can. They see I have running water, but they don't understand why I heat my water. To make it as simple as I can is this. Bought a house. The house was broken. We didn't know it was broken until we actually paid for it. We bought a house on cash sale, and the plumbing is a lot of issues with it. I have cold water in my whole house except for my shower, which still has hot water. My pipes are all broken underneath the house because underneath the house is only 2 feet, about 2 to 2.5 feet high. And it is an old mobile home. We've had many people come, many people looked at it, they shake their heads and they walk away. Nobody wants to fix it. So I adapt. I bought a place, it was free and clear, it was cash, this is where we lived, so we had to deal with the problems that we have. When we moved in here, this is what we were faced with, and you know what? You do with what you got. And so I learned to heat water on a stove. I never did that before. And I learned all of these things. I learned about gray water and the rules with gray water and how you can reuse gray water and outside, with your plants. And so these are things that I have learned. Thankfully, our sewer system is perfect and we have hot water in the shower only. So what I'm going to do is I take sometimes my hot water from the bathtub and bring it in here. A lot of people ask me that other question. Why don't I take hot water from the bathroom and bring it here to wash dishes? And why do I heat it on the stove? Well, to be honest with you, lugging 5 gallons of hot water all day long is very tiresome. I already have to lug 5 gallons of hot water for all of my laundry. And to do it for dishes too, it's very tiring. And so sometimes I do steps like this, which is easier physically on my body. I am a big girl, let's face it, but I do work very hard. I've worked very hard at just the everyday tasks that people have in life. And one thing I noticed was when I was thinner, I didn't have the strength that I do now. And so being overweight does have a lot of challenges, but also being overweight does have a lot of benefits as far as if you have more strength. So I have more strength to actually lift all these buckets because it's a lot of weight, anywhere between 200 to 300 to 400 pounds of water. That sounds like a lot of water, but if you calculate all the drops of water that you use in a day, you would really be surprised. I can tell you how much water it takes for me to have a shower. I can tell you how much water it takes for me to do a large load of dishes. I can tell you how much water it takes for me to wash my laundry. And so sometimes it looks to you like I'm doing harder work, but actually it's easier. So heating my water on the stove for me is a lot easier because I don't have to haul so much water. And you know, that is just part of my life that a lot of people don't understand. And everybody has their own dynamics in life. Everybody has their own things that they have to work on. My home, I know how it runs. I know how it works because I've been here 9 years. And so I learned, okay, Tessie, this doesn't work. How do you make it work? And so this is what a lot of people are really fascinated about my life is. I am not off-grid. I never was off-grid. But I bought a home that was broken. And I just learned to adapt. I do more in 1 hour than a lot of people do in a whole day. And I don't say this to brag at all. I just say it to share with you that it is a hard life living this life. But I like it. It's not that I'm putting hardship on myself. I'm just learning to adapt in a life that I was given. And I love working. I love doing this stuff. This would be very hard if you didn't like it. If you didn't like homesteading or living like this. It's heavy. My bucket is extremely heavy. Now you count that many times a day. So this is what I do. And in a matter of 10 minutes, it will be soaked up. So as you can see, I really try hard to conserve water as much as I can. But I like having things clean, and having things clean takes a quite amount of water. I find it absolutely hilarious that a small group of women, about 6 of them, claim I don't live this life, it's just a prop, and I do this for videos. If I would do this for videos, I sure would hope I'd get paid a lot more than that, because it is not easy. It is hard work. Now, whether I have a YouTube or not, this is what I gotta do. This would be a lot of work just to make a YouTube video. Well, my water is still heating up, but you know what? It's starting to get daylight, and so soon I can blow out my oil lamps. I only keep them up for just a small time because I really want to save that fuel that I have. And you would not believe the difference it makes. It's a mobile home, which in the winter time, my walls are very thin, and so it can get very damp. And using an oil lamp in my rooms, like my bathroom or my bedroom, can really make a difference in the evening because it just helps take all of that dampness away. So oil lamps, not only are they pleasing to the eye, they also do have a purpose. And when you use clean heat, that really makes a difference because it's a very fine kerosene that you can get at Lowe's. Where you want to get it is at Lowe's. They have it now in their paint section. Yes, in their paint section. They use it for paint stripping, but it is actually made for oil lamps, and you can read it on the directions. It says oil lamps. It is a heating oil, but it's very refined, and there's no smell whatsoever. And adding some essential oils to your oil lamps, wow, what a difference that made. So, my water's still heating up. I'm going to have a little bit of breakfast. I'm going to wash my dishes and get my laundry going. And then, after all that's done and my house is cleaned up, I have to edit this video. So editing this video, it takes me 1 hour and 20 minutes to put this video together. Then it takes another hour and 20 minutes to 2 hours to upload it. As you can see, so by the time it reaches to your house, it's gone through quite a process. I do my videos with editing, I do my videos with all kinds of extra things, and so it takes time, but I want to have a real clean video, a nice video for you to watch, and so it takes extra time, but I enjoy it. Making videos and editing videos is actually a work of art because you're putting things together with music and sound. It's like a movie, and that's what I like about it. At home, it doesn't work. You think outside the box. Now, I love living like Little House on the Prairie. I did a video last week that had a little bit of scrutiny. You know, when you're a content creator, you always have people that watch your videos and they look at you and like they call you names and things like that. But I'm here, I want to share with you a little bit more about my life. In the summertime, I like using my rainwater and I like using basins to wash my clothing. In last week's video, I used this and I used this. And somebody pointed out that this is new, so I bought this just to make a video. And this came from the dollar store. Wow, I hate to tell you, this is authentic. An 1800s actual washboard. It's authentic vintage. And yes, my buckets are new. But why are my buckets new? Because I took the money from Amazon affiliate, which you guys buy things off of it, and I went and got myself some buckets. And if you want to see how I used to do my laundry, look right here, above here, and you will see the old totes that I used to use to wash my clothing. I also have this one. I use this one as well. But I wasn't doing a large amount of laundry because I was making a small video talking to you all while I was working on some of my clothing. But this one is what I use when I have a lot of clothing. You know, sometimes people can come onto your channel and see one video and they make their whole assumption on that one video. They don't go back and look at some of the other videos to see the actual storyline of someone's life. And I can share with you and prove to everyone that the clothing that I wash by hand, I did it 2 years ago. And I had some really old buckets and had some really old totes. You know, I love when people say things like this on a negative way because I'm able to share with you, hey, I can prove to you how I live my life. I can share with you in tangible ways how I live my life. People have a hard time understanding how other people can live. And I think that's one thing that we really need to break the stereotypes. The stereotypes are a lot. If you're poor or if you have things that don't work, then you're sloppy, then you're lazy. If you're overweight, you're lazy. And so many of these stereotypes aren't true. In fact, some of the most overweight women work really hard. There's ways and there's reasons why people are overweight. It doesn't always mean they're lazy. Sometimes people have handicaps in their life, and that is why they're overweight. They can't do the work. Sometimes people work hard and they have a lot of muscle and they look overweight. There's just so many things about people's lives. And so when you look at a video, don't assume someone's whole life by one video. Because you don't understand someone's life, just because you don't understand why they have a new bucket or why they use washboards, doesn't necessarily mean that they are being fake or they're being props or they're not being true. There are some people in this world that actually do live a different lifestyle than your own. And I'm ready boldly to share my lifestyle and share with everyone that my videos are complete and my videos are open for the world to see. Videos are open. I don't hide anything of my life. I share my whole life. And yes, this is my home. It's not a prop. So now let's get washing our clothing. It's hard for the people to realize that I like this lifestyle. I enjoy doing things this way. I find great satisfaction in doing it. I'm an old soul, so living this way, it doesn't affect me like it would some. When you have what you work with what you have. In today's video, I talked to you all about the dishwasher breaking. Did you know almost every comment that I got about my dishwasher was the same thing? You all had one, it broke, and you never replaced it. Why didn't you replace it? Probably for the same reasons why I didn't replace mine. You know, It's amazing how we learn to adapt. I'm a homebody. I'm home like 24/7. And so this lifestyle isn't that bad for me because I'm home. Now, if I was working away from home, I don't know how I would do all of this. But because I'm home, I'm able to do it. When we went to get out of debt, we sold everything. Just about everything other than our heirlooms. And we bought this place, and we quickly bought it because it was on the market, and we wanted it because it was a very cheap, affordable living. We didn't think about all of those other things. But to be honest with you, at that point in our life, we probably still would have bought this place because we needed to go to a place where we could be debt-free. And I am an adventurous type of person. And living this way is adventurous. I mean, it's different. It's different than what a lot of people, but you know what? There are a lot of people who live this way. They just, you don't hear about their stories. And so I like living like this. I choose to live like this. To a certain level, I choose it. You know, we could sell this place and move into an apartment, or we could sell this place and move into a rental. I wouldn't want that life. I like it here. I like it here. And I'm going to stay here as long as I can. Maybe someday I will move, but for now, this is my home. The point of this video. The point of the video was to share with you an intimate look at my life, an intimate look at my mornings and how almost every morning it's the same. It's to share with you that there's so many stereotypes out in this world, that people who live different, that people who live maybe lower income than others, they're always classified as being poor, being lazy, being trashy, not taking care of things, being sloppy. You know, that's not always the case. You know, there are people on low income that don't live trashy lives, and they don't live lazy, and they don't live, you know, not taking care of things. And so those stereotypes really need to go away. A lot of people who live low income are living that way because of things that happened in their life, whether they chose it or not. Things happen, and sometimes this is the life that we are led to live. And do it abundantly, do it happily. You can't take back time. You can't take back things, decisions that you made in your life. But you know what? You can live a life that's joyous now, even if it is a broken home where nothing seems to work. Take care, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow.